I'm excited to be speaking to you all at the Phocuswright conference today and to tell you a little bit about RVShare and our experience with the COVID-19 pandemic. RVShare is the first and largest marketplace for RV rentals. We were founded in 2013 and have about 75 people across our offices in Akron, Ohio and Austin, Texas. We're led by travel industry professionals with experience from Expedia, Vrbo, and Orbitz. I was actually an early employee at HomeAway and stayed with the company for 12 and a half years through the sale to Expedia, ultimately serving as the chief revenue officer for the business. RVShare is backed in the early days by Tritium Partners out of Austin, and then more recently we raised a large equity financing from the team at KKR. RVShare at its core is a marketplace. We connect travelers who are looking to go on a great RV trip with people who have an RV and are looking to turn it into a second source of income. On the traveler side, we've booked more than 2 million days on our platform and have really high satisfaction scores, with 92% of our reviews as 5-star and an NPS just under 70. We primarily serve road trips and camping. With 40 million households each year in the US go camping, and few of them go in RVs. So we're looking to change that, and we're doing that, growing quickly and making this an option for camping. But in addition to camping, we do music festivals, we do large group activities and tailgating, and we also do delivery of RVs. So if you want to go on an RV trip, but you don't want to drive an RV, we can deliver it to the campground you want to stay at. On the owner or supply side, we offer a way to turn your RV into a second source of income. RVs on average are an underutilized asset. They're only used about 3 weeks a year. So we allow you to turn the rest of the weeks into an opportunity to make some money. Half of the people who book through RVShare are able to cover 75% or more of the payments on their RV by renting. We also have RVs across the US, but our top markets are Western large metro areas like Salt Lake City and Phoenix. When the COVID-19 pandemic set in, just like every travel business, we were scared. We didn't know what was going to happen next, and we suffered tens of thousands of cancellations. But we quickly pivoted our business to focus on relief bookings, where we booked to doctors and nurses who were looking to stay near their home but not cross-contaminate with their families, to critical infrastructure workers who were housed at facilities that provide water and electricity to cities, and to medical trips where people had to drive out of state to go to medical appointments. That kept us from falling kind of all the way off in bookings and maintained about 40% of our bookings level from the previous year. Then, as kind of during the midst of the COVID pandemic in late April, we saw something strange happen, which was that travel ultimately prevails and that people ultimately want to travel. It's an insatiable urge. And then we saw bookings return quickly, especially as the southern states started to reduce restrictions on travel. We saw people book RVs and book them in large numbers. Ultimately, we did a little, just right around 3 times what we did last summer in bookings. And we've had an extended booking season with people booking much later into the fall than they usually do, with Labor Day actually being our biggest bookings day of the year. So what we saw from all of this pandemic is that people will ultimately find a way to travel, and that offering them unique ways to get out into the world and to have some control over their trip are winning during the course of this pandemic. We also believe from our internal data that 93% of people who traveled this summer did so they could stay away from crowds, and that 40% of people rented an RV because of the control that it provides them over their trip. As we move forward, we see that the benefits of RVs have been made clear in this pandemic. They give you more control over their trip. They let you reconnect with nature. And there's far better awareness and consideration of RVs than there used to be. According to a Phocuswright survey, 33% of travelers plan to take an RV trip post-pandemic, and we're excited to help power those trips. We also believe that the changes in attitudes toward work and school and being more remote and available to work from anywhere will serve to our benefit in the long term. Thanks for having me today.